Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is celebrated in May, and we celebrate the culture of people from the continent of Asia and the islands in the Pacific. Back in November, our principal, Mr. Raymar, spoke about how the children this year, unfortunately, were missing out on some of the things that we typically do. We decided to come up with these slides that the kids could investigate and explore on their own. So I put together about 120 slides on Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
The students had some opportunity to go through all the slides. We decided to focus on something that is traditionally from Japan. The students had a lot of fun learning all about what a kimono is.
Kimonos are made and worn in Japan. They're made out of a special material called silk.
Yo soy de la India. I'm from India. Tengo rayas anaranjadas y negras. ¿Qué color es anaranjada?
Mrs. Frangados, a first grade teacher here, shared with me what she did with her students. They read a booklet about animals that they find in India, and I read the same book in Spanish.
And I moved silently through the forest.
So what we're doing now is we're recreating a zoo in India. That's our main focus on this project. We're going to have our animals drawn and colored by our students.
Each grade level is doing a different activity. For example, our 5th grade will be working on haiku poetry.
I'm going to read it in Japanese and in English. So, in English it is, trees as tall as mountains, the sky bluest of the blue, blade long like the tree. And in Japanese it's, Yama no yo ni takakai, ao ha no motomo, ayosara, ki no yoni nagai.
Okay, the bird is eating apple pie out my window and is mocking me.
I'm very excited about the 4th grade making these unit collages.
So on this side, we have some things about India, Indian food.
I drew 4 Filipino dishes. This is called chicken adobo. This is pancit. From my experience, I really like these dishes, and I feel like it's really important to the Filipino culture.
I think it's really important that the kids' eyes are open to how many different types of people there are.
Let's get on with the story. Let me introduce you to my family. That brat with the folded arms, that's me.
A lot of this stemmed from an article in this classic news that the children read from a few years ago.
Yeah, which is called Behind the Wired Fence. So this picks up where the U.S. entered World War II with the bombing of Pearl Harbor and the effects that it had on the Japanese Americans.
One of the reasons that we are going to talk about it is in May we have something called Asian Pacific American Heritage Month.
So what I would love to do now, if it's okay with Daphne, I would love to share Daphne's iMovie.
We've been learning about Japanese internment camps and basically how the people who were sent there, how they lived.
They had to go through unfair treatment.
I didn't know about it until like a few months ago. It's definitely appalling to me.
A Japanese American internment camp survivor is coming on Zoom tomorrow.
After Pearl Harbor, life became very, very difficult for us. Your basic civil rights were denied if that happens. And that happened to us when they did that to us in early 1942.
It's really inspiring to see how the kids, each of the classes really taken the information differently and have a class discussion, and how much they can really speak to each other and help each other understand the topic and even ask further questions.
Did you ever try to escape like the imprisonments or go around the border?
A few of us crazy kids escaped for the day. We wanted to do something different. And so what we do is when the guards were not looking, we would climb between the barbed wires and go down to the river and do things that we kind of enjoy. But we always came back. And so that's really not an escape. I was just simply trying to satisfying our interest at that age, and so we just went out for the day.
Can you read it to me?
Yes. April 30th, 2021. Dear Mr. Mahara, my name is Harrison and I go to Jenny E. Hewitt Elementary School. I loved your presentation. I learned that you should never judge a person because of their color, religion, or size. After you shared your story with us on Wednesday, I went home and told my brothers and parents about what I learned at school. I spoke mainly about that presentation by the one and only Sam Mihara. Once again, thank you for speaking to our class. I learned a lot of facts. Yours truly, Harrison.
It's very important that we speak to this month and that we enjoy the culture, that we learn about the culture, and that we also learn about some of the things that have gone on and continue to go on, and to say this can't happen and we won't let it happen.
So I simply say, never again to anyone. Never, ever again to anyone at all.
So at Watson, we've decided to do a kickoff to Asian American and Pacific Islanders Month.
And that's kind of what we're going to look at today when we're doing our Asian Pacific Heritage Month lesson, and also when we're doing the activity that ties to it.
We started the month off by providing a Educreations video that gave the students some background about the countries that were considered part of Pacific Islander, as well as in Asia.
We have learned all about Mount Fuji in Japan. I made this dragon.
Throughout the month, teachers have had the autonomy of choosing literature and activities from a list that we have put together.
Today we just learned about India and we read a book.
Today we're going to read a story, and the story is called Bilal Cook's Dal. Everybody say dal for me. Dal. So what dal is, you might not be familiar with it. It is a popular dish or ingredient in India. What you are going to do today is I want you to think, is there a special type of food that you cook or eat with your family?
One is lasagna.
And I love the pictures. What are the different things that you have in your Taco Tuesday?
Tomatoes and lettuce, and I forgot the cheese.
Oh, but I see here too the taco shells. You got everything.
I think it allows kids to feel that they're part of something. On the flip side, it also teaches everybody that differences exist, and that is what makes us such a special place.
I feel more comfortable and happy that we're learning about this, because now this is some stuff that I actually finally know about that I can help with and answer questions. So it kind of makes me feel a little more useful and happy.